What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sanchez 405 coming at you. It's on the Warpath. Y'all's Warpath Wednesday. If you don't mind, like, subscribe, share this video out to uh your network. Yeah, so we're here. We're live. No Amir tonight, so I'm flying solo, as you can see. But it's all right. We got a little bit of stuff to talk about. Comment. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Periscope, which feeds into Twitter. So come on, join us. We'll have a fun discussion. Um, I'm going to start off with what everybody's been talking about today. And today would have been Sean Taylor's 37th birthday, y'all. Um, it's kind of ironic. I remember they were talking to Buck Ortega, who was a tight end at Miami, and then he came to the Redskins with him. And, they talked about his birthday being on April Fool's and how ironic that was. But, it still stings for all of us who Redskins. I think football fans in general, just the gravity of that situation and what happened. I remember where I was. It's two places I remember where I've been at. 9/11 in Daytona, Chantel. Not comparing those two, but those are just things that are ingrained in my mind forever. I can remember where I was walking. I can visualize it, but I think that 2005 season probably his best season, where he helped close out the season in Philadelphia to clinch a playoff spot, and then going to Tampa Bay and doing his work there. He did get ejected from that Tampa Bay game because he spit on somebody, but it's all right though. Great player, great athlete. He was just coming into his own. It's a tragic story. So rest in peace, Sean Taylor. Happy birthday, sir. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Redskins have had an elite talent. Like I keep on telling everybody, the Redskins have not had an elite talent since Sean Taylor. I can't really think of one off the top of my head, but we haven't had that game changer since then. We have the potential to draft one this year, and we'll get into that here in a little. But Sean Taylor, that's still will never sit right with any of us. And it's. I think about that, and another game I remember watching him was the Chicago game where his first interception, and I think he had his first sack too. And the Redskins and the Bears were terrible, and he's the one who clinched that. I think of a game in 2006 against the Carolina Panthers where it comes out and he center fields that ball and intercepts it against Jake Delhomme, and you're like, get down, but he's just going to try to run and score. Probably even one of the bigger moments that we won't forget because it was against the Cowboys when he returned Troy Vincent's blocked field goal and he didn't go down. That was the epitome of Sean Taylor. He'd never let up. He was 100% every time. You see it where he just ran there. He got into enough field position, gave Nick Novak the opportunity to kick a field goal, who was struggling that day. You can find that on YouTube. I think NFL Throwbacks does a compilation of the last 3 minutes of that game. So that is something that's something worth watching, and it still gives me the chills when I think about it. But we talk about. We move on from that. We talk about the current situation with the Washington Redskins, and there's some news on the offensive line front, right? Brandon Sheriff signed his tenure. So that means he's going to show up to training camp. I think this is positive for the discussion. It's two things. It's either positive because he's a leader, or it's positive for a long-term contract. Has he had injury problems? Yes, but when he's out there, he is the best guard in the game. And actually, I was looking at this on Pro Football Rumors that he is the first franchise guard since 2011. So 9 years since a guard was tagged, and he, of course, he makes the top, the average of the 5 guards in that position. And so he's going to make just south of $15 million this year. And he under these guidelines, he's going to show up to training camp. So he's not going to sit out or anything whenever training camp is. Well, no, see, they don't do the top guards. They do the whole offensive lineman as a group. So that's a correction on my part. So that's one less thing you have to worry about, especially with this Trent Williams stuff going on. And if you've been paying attention, you've seen that Trent Williams is trying to get out of here, and the Redskins are pointing their fingers at him, and his agent's pointing the finger at the Redskins. This is ridiculous. I'm ready to get over it, y'all. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get over it and move on. There's more things to be worried about. We got quarterback controversies to worry about. I'm tired of worrying about a 30-plus guard tackle that's been out for a year, and we talked about it. Amir and I on here before. We understand why he did it, but a man that's been all up in his feelings, or his agent's been in his feelings, it's just time to move on. This is the epitome of psycho ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend right here, right? If you got to go, it's a point in time your friends are telling you got to go. Cut your leases. His agent said he's not asking for 20 a year. Right, we'll see that, but I'm glad you pointed that out, Daily Grind. Trent's agents needs to get his job and negotiate a trade for his client. No, absolutely right, Harrison T24. It's a never-ending saga. I don't know if it's point just to keep the Skins relevant during this time or what, but move on. Just find a deal. You gave up less than probably what Quentin Dunbar was worth, but you got rid of him. So why are you lingering on that fact? His agent said Trent wanted to stay, but Rivera never reached out to him 2 weeks ago to talk seriously. His agent knows what Skins are looking to get, so he's needs to go get it. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Another thing, to Daily Grind's point right there, I was listening to NFL, I think it was Ian Rappaport, who was saying that they were upset because Ron Rivera brought in his boy Greg Olsen to talk to, who eventually was Seattle, right? And came in for Trent to talk. One, that's Ron Rivera's boy. So, if this is some Joe Schmuck off the streets, yeah, I would understand this a little bit more. I'm just ready. I'm ready for that situation to go. You can keep on pointing it. I mean, we see this every day. It's like, it's politics. It's like Washington, D.C. is the home of toxic relationships. Whether you're looking at like when they were talking about this negotiation for this stimulus package and everything, right? It's the same thing. Granted, probably there's there's 3 sides to every story, right? There's there's your side, and there's the truth. And somewhere in between that, it gets muddled. We are going to lie. We're humans. We are going to lie. We're going to lie to protect ourselves, right? Or we are going to embellish, not just lie, but we embellish the fact to make ourselves look better. So whether it's the Redskins or whether it's Trent Williams, to the point that the Redskins now, they said the Redskins backed off and maybe they would go with a 3, but we'll see. That remains to be seen, right? I'm just tired of it. It's the same dog and pony show. This is something, and you're absolutely right, Daily Grind. Yep, welcome to being a Redskins fan. Been dealing with this all. I agree with you, man. I know how you feel. If it's not toxic negotiations What was that brother's name? Back in the day, Sean Gilbert. That crazy situation. Um, but if it's not overplaying for old over the hill players or underpaying, it is it's just washing away, right? We are legitimately the nation's capital of football, just like our people on Capitol Hill, right? They just keep on complaining, keep on going back and forth at each other. And I did this report. I put a video out on Sunday. The Redskins signed Ronald Darby to come in, and I know I've seen Ronald Darby. Y'all have seen Ronald Darby. He's hit or miss. He is hit or miss. He bucks on the double. He's like me when somebody claps in my face. He flinches on that double move. Yep, boom, clap. A lot of folks were not happy about this. I talked to AD from Redskins Rant. He was looking for Logan Ryan. And I think JD has a point. Like, why don't you spend the extra amount of money to go and get somebody legitimate? Like Logan Ryan, who was commanding like 10. He was going to command 10, making 10, right? Daily Ground said, I don't understand the signing for Ronald Darby when Breland is basically saying Redskins, I'm ready to come back, shaking my head. That's another point. I don't know what the dynamic is. None of us know what the dynamic is with Rashad Breeland and the Washington Redskins. There were some weird things on social media right before he left. So granted, I don't know if that was with the coaching staff or if that was with the organization as a whole. But from what I understand, and Ron Rivera, you think about Ron Rivera too, he was going to bring him to Carolina before he had an injury and the contract got nulled. So Ronald Darby's a local guy. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it's more of trying to put butts in the seats. I mean, you could look at a barbershop today in FedEx Field in regular season. You couldn't probably tell the difference because there's nobody there, right? So Ronald Darby, he's a local kid. That's the best thing I can really think of. He's probably familiar with the defense, or if it's going to be a hybrid between Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera had Sean McDermott, who was the head coach in Buffalo. Ronald Darby's last year up there. It's kind of that little off-kilter relationship. We'll see. He about as healthy as Quimbar, but lacks the skills, right? I think that back to my earlier point about Logan Ryan and going out and getting these free agents, right? So the biggest, and I went back and I did a little bit of research here. So in Ron Rivera's years in Carolina, they did not make free agent splashings. They brought in veterans to add depth, but they never broke the bank. So granted, I don't know if this was a Marty Hurney thing or Dave Gettleman thing when they were there, but they never broke the bank. That brings me to another point, which was shocking when we gave that money we offered Amari Cooper, right? $100 million to come in. That was shocking. Also, then Austin Hooper said it came down to the Browns and the Redskins. Don't really know what that figure was. I don't remember what the figure was that the Browns offered. But the Redskins don't break. The Panthers didn't break the bank. Greg Olsen was a trade for a third-round pick for Chicago. And then they built through the draft. So everybody who's like, why don't we go out and get these cats that are there? Your Byron Joneses, your your Bashad Breelands. We did go out and get Kendall Fuller. this is Ron Rivera. This is the Panthers part 2. We weren't successful with Tampa Bay part 2, so now we're going to Carolina, working our way through the NFC South. And before you know it, we'll have Sean. Maybe we might have Sean Payton before everything's said and done. Don't know. But I just thought that was something interesting. They never broke the bank. And it's something common. They just add depth. They add position. They build through the draft. And then when it came time, they took care of their own. They took care of Charles Johnson, D'Angelo Williams, Khalil guy, the one that they had drafted originally. I think that was the center that they drafted. So they took care of their own, and they just built. They brought in free agents. Like Julius Peppers came there on like a $4 million contract at the end of his career. Let's see here. Yeah, Breland won it out earlier this year, so they oblige. Dark can cover. He's going to be as good as Norman. Yeah, I hope so. And we need so much. Why spend all your money on 1-2 things? He's trying to play. Yeah, absolutely. Harris 24. That's where I'm getting at. We've got, this was a 3-13 team, y'all. I don't care. I love some of the players on this team that I don't want to see go. But they were on a 3-13 team. Some of them were on back-to-back 7-9 teams. That's not a recipe for success in the NFL. That's common sense. And you can call me Captain Obvious for saying that. We got, like, we gotta trust this process. We're in an age where we want everything now. We're not willing to wait and see it. Like I told y'all before, we are in a rundown shack. We are trying to build a mansion. Ron Rivera's trying to build a mansion. But you got to go and get the supplies, right? You got your workers. You got to go to Home Depot. You got to go to Lowe's. You got to get the lumber. You got to get your contracts, right? You got your contracts. You got to go get a plumber, right? You got to go get all these things. You're going to have to get your electrician to build the house, right? And that's not going to take, if you want something beautiful, it's not going to happen overnight. I said this to a friend of mine earlier. I said, Redskins can pick up 4 or 5 more games this year. And what does that put them at? 7. They'll put them at 7 wins, 8 wins. That's a success. Anything over that's an overachievement this year. I'm being a realist. I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying, after being 3-13, and we saw this when Mike Shanahan was 3-13, it took the Redskins 2 years to win 9 games and get back in the playoffs, right? 4-12. Then some people said they backed into NFC's championship with Kirk Cousins. Oh, but they made it there, right? But it took them 2 years. Not everybody is the 03 Carolina Panthers where you go from, 01, they were 1-15. They got John Fox. They built up. They were 7-9, and then they were 11-5. So it's going to take at least a year to build this. And then we talk about, like I just said, Ron Rivera, they build through the draft, right? That's what they did in Carolina. That's what they're looking to do. And I don't encourage this at all. But Redskins may be looking, and this is the season of smoke. This is the season of smoke. You might as well get in, hang out with Snoop Dogg, because it's nothing but haze. Call it Jimi Hendrix, right? Purple haze all over the place. You cannot see clearly. There are nuggets being thrown out. They said they might trade down. And we need that transit player. Chase Young offers that, has all the measurables for that. He could be that next elite talent. He's drawing comparisons to Julius Peppers. Who in the world in their right mind would not want this Julius Peppers, right? But then you have something. You can't lose the situation. That's the same thing. right? Or then they said they have this versatile linebacker safety in Isaiah Simmons from Clemson, right? Maybe the Redskins trade out of that pick. And I know, Redskins Nation, we're going to go crazy. We're going to be like, we need to get Chase Young. We got to get the local kid. This guy's elite. He's coming from lineage of the Bosas and now him at Ohio State, right? We got to have that, right? I'm going to trust what they do. I ain't going to say I'm going to like it, but I'm going to trust Ron to make the right decision and Kyle Smith to make the right decision. Granted, whoever they pick, they need to go out. Like I said, I think for me, if it's me, I got the trigger on the button. I'm going to take the transcendent elite talent in Chase Young. A game changer. We need a cat that we can, that other teams, we need somebody so like they're sweating, right? So we need, when the Giants are game planning, right? When Jason Garrett's game planning for the Redskins, he's got to worry. He's got to make a game plan for one guy. Then that way, Montez Sweat can have a field day maybe. Or even Chase Young. He could come out there and have a field day, right? We want Mike McCarthy to stay up on Saturday night during just dreading, getting ready. Huh? Doug Peterson? We want them sweating. That's what we want. This is a division that has above average quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, maybe. Right? So we need to rattle them. You cannot sit here you can't do it. You cannot sit here and stammer and tiptoe around it, pussyfoot around it, and be like, well, you know what? Don't know what we're going to do. Just blow it up. We'll take him. We will take him. This is a 3-13. And the other one to the argument is this is a 3-13 team from last year. There's a lot of holes to plug up on that leaky ship. So the only team I would even entertain a trade from would be the Miami Dolphins because they're draft capital. Because you don't have a second round pick and you could get multiple first round picks from them. That's the only team, the only one I would entertain. And then, there's a lot of rumors here, too, that the Redskins, well, look at this coming off the wire. Dallas Cowboys go to the prison system, and they sign Aldon Smith. Y'all remember Aldon Smith, don't you? Hey, love guys. Randy Gregory. Now they got Aldon Smith coming here, who's been out the league for a while, to a 1-year, $4 million deal once he's reinstated. So Jerry will get him reinstated real quickly. But yeah, we are, and then there's some folks that are saying, well, the Redskins, they might go after Tua. You just traded for a quarterback. You got a first round pick, and they make the argument that this isn't his coaching staff, but you got to give this kid an opportunity. You got to. Daniel Jones, do you hear the stuff about Daniel Jones? He's got a new coordinator, a new head coach who didn't draft him. They didn't pick him. Joe Judge didn't pick this guy, right? Who else? Dak Prescott. He wasn't picked. I mean, he's more established. So, I mean, it's not fair to Haskins. I'm all for competition. I think that brings the best, and that's what Ron Rivera is doing. He says that, you know what? He's a Gen Zer, right? And Gen Zers think they can have everything handed to them. He's not going to do that. You are going to earn that spot. Right, wrong, or indifference. You are going to earn that spot. Whether it works or whether it flings out, it does not matter. The only thing I'm looking forward to is that it's a fair competition and give him the opportunity to succeed. He's a first round draft pick. He's from the area. You got to give him the opportunity. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You know, D Hall was on NFL Network, and D'Angelo Hall said, he's close to the Redskins. He played with most of them a couple years ago and still has that connection. He thinks Dwayne Haskins has a short leash because Kyle Allen, who was 5-7 last year as a starter, 17 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, was Ron Rivera's guy to replace Cam Newton. And people are talking about maybe Cam Newton should come watching. No, don't do that. But Kyle Allen, he's going to get an opportunity. I don't care what anybody says. Should he? For the sake of competition, yes. But I think at the end of the day, I think that this will refocus Haskins. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to learn. I mean, hopefully he's going to call Cam Newton and say, hey, what do I need to learn with Scott Turner? What do I got to learn about Coach Ron? It's going to pan itself out. That is, there's reports coming out and moving to the NFL. Tell me what y'all think as well. The NFL came out yesterday or Monday and said that they plan on playing the league schedule as I agree with you. I agree with you, Con. Says Haskins better grow up quick. You're absolutely right. But the NFL said they plan to play the regular season on time. Roger Goodell gave the gag order. You can't complain about this, especially with the draft. They're going to try to do the draft at remote locations due to the corona pandemic going on. I don't think in a logical way, I don't see the season starting on time. It just doesn't make any sense. You have colleges who you have college football. The ADs are coming out saying, well, we don't know if we're going to be able to play. We might move to the spring. Don't really know. And that, it's a revenue getter. College football, college basketball, those are revenue getters. Those, they help lead down to the other sports, honestly. But I don't think I understand what Roger Goodell. I think I understand what Roger Goodell and the NFL are trying to do. One, to give them something to look for as the standard bearer in professional sports, right? Time getter in all professional sports. Granted, I don't agree with everything they do, but good God, don't you love the NFL, right? 16, a whole bunch, and they're going to expand the playoffs this year. So you're going to have a 7th seed out of each conference. The number 2 seed is going to play on the first week. You have a triple header. Saturday, Sunday, wild card weekend. These are fun things forward to, but I don't think it's responsible. It's not responsible, and it's negligent. It's not even borderline. It is negligent to do something like that. One, you're getting my hopes up and every other fan's hopes up, so shame on you, Mr. Goodell. But, you got to think about the safety of it. How do you I'll get to that, Paul. I'll get to that in a second. But, yeah, I don't think that they thought about this. I don't think they thought about this through at all. And it's negligent. It is negligent. They should be ashamed of themselves. Roger Goodell should be ashamed of himself. They said they'll bring out the schedule no later than May 9th. So we'll see. This is a 2-week continue thing. How do you feel about releasing Josh Norman? I'm happy. I was kind of tired of Josh Norman. I got tired of him. I think he's more worried about his media career than actually playing football. Maybe good luck to him in Buffalo. Buffalo's in the city. Been there. Great wings. Shout out to the Anchor Bar. Yeah, I was just done with him. He was worth more. He's more than he was worth. Really, it's just too much. He wasn't even worth the paper he was written on. His contract. So, like I said, so many excuses with Josh. I sound like Chad Dukes. I think that's an honor. I think that's thank you. Thank you to that. I don't know. Chad Dukes doesn't have that squeaky voice like me, so and lacking accent, and I think there's a lot of more profanities with Chad Dukes. But yeah, goodbye, Josh Norman. I wasn't too pleased with him. And but like I said, going back to the NFL, negligence. They do this stuff. The NFL does stuff bass backwards. A lot of people like to say. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Kerrigan's past the prime. Yeah, I agree with you on that. He is, it's down to the point. I'm kind of with Ryan Kerrigan like I was with Earl Green. I wanted to see him get his sack record so he can pass Charles Mann. But I'm also like, maybe it's a prime point to move on. Don't really know. Because you got to think, he's been our best. He's been the Redskins' best defensive player. I'd say up until this year, he's been the Redskins' best defensive player. Don't at me, but I do. So glad Bruce Allen's going. Yes. I agree. Bruce Allen, the scum of the earth. And yes, he does talk out of both sides of his mouth. He does. He's like his brother. Oh, gosh. Yes, AP is still under contract. They actually exercise the option on it, so he'll be back. Did have some cool things I did find out here earlier today. The Redskins, I didn't cover this in my earlier videos this week, last week, but the Redskins did sign a guard. Was Jeremy? I'm gonna say, is it Vunicic? He was he's in his fourth season. Dude, he's a small college. He went to a D3 school. It's pretty cool. So he is, I think he came from Indianapolis. Yeah. He started in one season. He started all 16 games for the Indianapolis Colts. He's been at Carolina. He's been at Green Bay. So good for him. Who was it? Paul, would you say you hate losing? Losing Chris Thompson sucks. Yes, but I want you to go back last week now. The Redskins found their replacement for Chris Thompson. J.D. McKissick from Detroit. He'll make you forget about it. I honestly do. I appreciate everything that Chris Thompson did for the Redskins. I don't think he's been the same since he had that injury when he broke his leg back in 2017. But J.D. McKissick, he's a former wide receiver. He plays running back. I think this guy can be, and you look at the scheme that Scott Turner ran with Christian McCaffrey last year. You got a dual threat running back. I'm not saying he's Christian McCaffrey, but maybe you can do some of the same things with McKissick as you did with McCaffrey. Yes, the Redskins have cleaned up the horrible athletic staff. They brought Carolina's athletic staff and their head athletic trainer. So we'll see how that works. Let's see here. So you got that dual threat, and Scott Turner said that he'll get some opportunities there with J.D. McKissick. So good. And Jay Gruden's Jake Gruden brought it up. Son's still on the staff. I think that was John's son, and no, I think you're talking about Amir's boy Deuce Gruden, and Jordan Reed went to the couch. That's where he's at right now. He doesn't need to play football anymore. Yeah. Jordan Reed does not need to play football anymore. That is for his safety. He don't need to play it. I'm not even joking. Yeah, so, and Scott Turner even joked with J.D. McKissick saying, not going to get 100 carries, but we'll get you a couple in there. So I think they have plans for this guy. And I've got one more thing that I got to do here before I let y'all go. We need to bring LeVar back. LeVar Arrington, he don't want to come back here. He like in LA. Nah. Man, I was like 9 when he got drafted by the Skins. But yeah, season ticket holder. No, I'm not. I'm not a season ticket holder. I live like 8 hours away from Landover, so I don't have the So I wanted to share something with y'all. I thought this was really cool. One of my buddies was on here watching. He writes for a local newspaper in Tennessee, and he's like, "Hey, I want to do an article about you." So I thought he was joking, right? But in this day and age, hey, you get, you got to go with what you're given. So I thought this was an opportunity, and it was a great opportunity, y'all. Kevin Mays from the Kingsport Times News, which is a local newspaper. There's yours truly with Cody Sensabaugh. Looks like I stole something, right? And there's Cody Sensabaugh, who's actually from the same area as this paper comes out, the coverage area for this. So that's pretty cool. You can read it. It's in the YouTube, description. I've got the link to the article. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I just talk about my story with the Redskins, why I'm a big Redskins fan. Y'all got pretty cool. He actually led with a great moment, and I don't want to spoil it, but y'all enjoy it. If you get an opportunity, I think I'm not trying to sound arrogant. I think it was a nice article. It made my mom cry, so that's always good, right? If you can get your folks to cry on that. But yeah, there's a lot. We talk about when Colt McCoy beat the Cowboys and why that game is so significant in my life. Yeah, but enjoy it, y'all. I really think you guys should. Paul, I'm gonna follow you. Follow you on Twitter. Is that right? I'll follow you on Twitter, or follow me on Twitter. The tweet, you can follow me right here, right? Yeah, follow me right there. Yeah, follow me there. Big Cooley fan, man. I love me some Chris Cooley. Like the time he went off against Dallas in 05, he had them touchdowns. Like he was so big, you didn't think he was gonna be that fast, right? I do and he breaks down film really well. I think I've learned a lot from Chris Cooley watching him. Excuse me, but no, he's not going to be there next year on the radio broadcast. I don't think so. That leaves the illustrious Doc Walker and Larry Michael to do the broadcast coverage. But yeah, so like I said, for y'all still in here or whoever's going to watch this, if you can, subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm usually here with my executive producer, Mr. Amir, but he had to work tonight, so he's not on here, but he is watching. He better be watching. That's going to come out of his non-existent salary, right? Just kidding. But yeah, follow you here. All right, okay. I think I do. I have a signed autograph from Chris Cooley. Actually, I don't, because of the lighting is so annoying. This picture right here that I'm pointing at, that's actually a signed copy. That's a signed Joe Gibbs picture right there. I got him to sign it in the 07 training camp. And I actually got, if my MySpace still exists, I had to find these pictures that I took during training camp. I actually do have one of Sean Taylor, and yeah, I need to go find that. That's something that can be a great treasure. I might put that on my wall too to print it out. But yeah, okay, I'll follow you on Periscope. Cool beans. But hey, we trying to make this thing as big as possible. Yeah, Joe Gibson. Let me see. I'll go over here and pull it up real quick. Let me see. Yeah, I ain't gonna pull it up. I'm too lazy. I don't want to see this. Yeah, Joe Gibbs. I do. I miss Joe Gibbs too. I was not a. Antonio Pierce said this best about Joe Gibbs when he came to Washington. He really liked Joe Gibbs. He's great, but he knew he was dated. And in that 04 season, they were a little dated. They didn't have shotgun. A lot of teams were running shotgun. He had to bring Bill Musgrave in there to run the offense. And then he tried to bring Al Saunders in there. And I don't think that really meshed because he used to be offensive play caller. So, that he kind of had to relinquish those duties. Yes, but Joe Gibbs' signature is awful. And yes, happy birthday to Sean Taylor. But like I said, comment. You can follow me on Twitter right there. And you can follow Mr. Air too. And he's on here right now. He just commented on the YouTube channel. But yeah, we appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate the coverage that we got from the local newspaper there. And if y'all want to read the article, just go to the YouTube channel. On the Warpath, you find us, subscribe to us. We respond to comments. So yeah, just reach out, check out what we're doing. Always, like, if there's some breaking news, we try to put up a video and just our instant react. But yes, no argument there. Yes, there's Amir's. Here, I'll put this up. That's Amir's Twitter right there. And yes, Joe Gibbs is a great man, period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. He's the type of person that everybody should strive to be, right? But yeah, there's Amir's Twitter, and we'll follow you all too. Just give us a subscribe, as they like to say. I don't know if there's like a rumor that you can't say subscriptions on YouTube, but yeah, it is what it is, right? But yeah, we appreciate the dialogue, appreciate the conversations that you all have had with us tonight, with me tonight. We're here. It's going to be a regular thing every Wednesday night at 9:00. Hopefully, we'll come on here for about 45 minutes to an hour, talk, and be on the merry way, right? But we always have a saying here, and I've been saying this wrong for the longest time, and Amir never told me this. He never told. I always said love, peace, and hell. Like peace, love, and I always think it was love, peace, and happiness. It's peace, love, and happiness. So we're going to say from now on, peace, love, and hell, right? So I'm going to say, yeah, we always hear, we say these words. Now we're going to regroup them, right? Peace, love, and hell, y'all. And we'll be talking to you real soon. Sanchez 405, I'm out.